Well, hey friends, it's Mule Tip Tuesday, and we got a question that came in about mules eating on the trail. Now, this is a tough one, and you can see we're in the middle of summer here in Utah. We're up here on the mountain. It's beautiful, and we got tons of grass. And it can really be annoying when your mule wants to munch on grass all day when you're trying to ride. Now, I got a lot of friends, a lot of you watching here that are endurance riders, and I know you guys are into that. So this mule tip probably won't apply to you guys, but for the rest of us that don't like our mules eating while we're riding, hopefully you'll find some value in this tip. But the first thing I'll say is you really have to kind of draw a line and say, all right, we don't eat while we're riding, and we don't eat while you're on the end of a lead rope. It's too hard for them to differentiate. I have a lot of friends, and I have a lot of associates in this horsemanship world that tell me that, well, you know what, my mule will eat when I let it, and then I tell it not to. And I've just never seen anybody have success at that. And maybe somebody will prove me wrong, but I just haven't seen anybody have success really drawing that, that difference there. So I just draw a line in the sand and say, nope, sorry, when we're riding, we don't graze. When I'm leading you, if you're on the end of that lead rope, we don't graze. And if I get to somewhere, if I'm on a ride and I want to let them graze, well, then I will take my head stall off and I'll hobble the mule and I'll let them graze. Well, we both have a snack. It's all right. Otherwise, no go. So what do I do about it though? Number one, if I'm riding in country like this, for the first little while, I probably need to engage my mule, engage him mentally and physically, because if they're kind of already tuned into knowing how to eat, if they kind of already know how to sneak grass all the time, if it's already a habit, you're going to have to do quite a bit more than had you started with the standard early on, like as in the colt starting stages. I don't have this issue nearly as bad with the mules I started as babies versus the mules I'm trying to fix up, the remodels. So if it is a remodel, which most of you watching this will probably be in that category, then you're going to have to do a lot of mental and physical engagement in these situations like this, okay? And that might mean something as simple as trotting through that meadow. Instead of just bopping through, walking along, you might need to trot through that meadow. Some of you listening to this, you're like, Ty, there's grass as high as their face all day long. In that case, you're going to have to make the right thing easier and the wrong thing way more difficult. And this is going to be a high stress move that I'm about to prescribe to you for both maybe you and the mule. And it comes with a lot of risk. The suggestion I'm about to give you comes with a lot of risk, and you need to pay attention. You need to decide if it's the right one for you. But this is what I do. If I got one that is just so determined to eat, and I got one that I've fixed this up in the last couple of months. We got a mule named Potato, and she's just like I'm describing. She will just dive for that grass, and just, man, that mule loves to eat. So I had to make it pretty stressful to eat. So I'm paying attention, we're riding along, I see some grass, she's gonna go for it. I know she's gonna go for it. I have the tail end of my Makati, the tail end of my lead rope ready to go. And as she's going to bite that grass, I just whack right down her side. And I need to go right down her flank, right that moment, just whack. And this might scare you to think about smacking a mule down the flank. And it should, because you should definitely expect a big old jump. And the first time I did that to Potato, right down her flank, you bet she took a big old jump and went, holy cow, what just smacked me? And the timing was such that there was a lot of connection to the thought of eating. And, it kind of fades away really fast in that moment. Move on a little bit. Here comes another patch of grass. I'm ready. I got my Makati right here. And as I see her thinking about it, we're getting closer. But before she actually takes a bite, whack, right down the flank again, another big old jump. You need to be ready for a big jump. If you're not getting a big jump out of them, you're not doing it. You're not doing enough. So this is a pretty extreme correction, but I need to have a lot of relationship with high stress and eating. I don't want them to eat on the trail. I want them to be bothered by it and make a connection there. Geez, every time I think about eating, there's a high stress thing. So that's helped me a ton on the extreme cases. The basic cases, it's way easier than that. Like if you're just riding a colt, you guys, it's so easy. Just move a hip over, move a shoulder over, side pass, leg yield, just trot, just do something to change their mind when you're going through that grass, and it'll be way easier than the extreme cases when you got to really put some stress level to that eating. So those are 2 suggestions, 2 different ends of the spectrum. I hope that helps you. I know not everybody will be up for that type of redirection for sure, and I understand, because it's pretty stressful for both the mule and you, but it's extremely effective. So anyways, hope you find some value in this Mule Tip Tuesday. Thank you so much for the questions. If you guys have a question for Mule Tip Tuesday, you can email me, ty@tsmules.com, and put in the subject line Mule Tip Tuesday question, and we'll try to get you answered. Until next time, guys, hope you have the best day ever. God bless you, and we'll see you down the road.